Hiya, Lisa here. Just here with something a bit different today. I wanted to show you how I go about colouring in stamped images. I've been stamping for years, gone through lots and lots of different mediums for colouring in. I've done the alcohol markers, watercolours, all sorts of stuff. My favourite one to use for quickness and for brightness is watercolour pencils. My pencils, I have various sets of pencils in tins and all sorts of things, but the ones I keep coming back to are in this box. Well, it's not a box, it's like a, I don't know if you can see that, it's got a handle, and it's I think it was from Sainsbury's. I think it's you're meant to put your sauce bottles in it on the table, but I use it for my pencils. So I keep various little bits and pieces in there. As I said, I've got lots of different sets of pencils. The ones I keep coming back to are the Faber-Castell ones. Albrecht Dürer, I think it's called. Lovely and creamy pencils. I use those. I use, are they called Colour Software, the ones? I'll find out what my other ones are called and post it below. But yeah, favourite pencils these are. And I was just, I'm just setting up for another scrapbook, travel notebook page that I want to do. Decided to use some stamping on it and thought it might work as a little video. So the travel notebook page I'm doing, this is my travel notebook, various pages in, and I did one a little while ago of my kids, and there's two photos. You can't see them in here very well, but one's of them all looking angelic, this one is of them looking decidedly naughty, so I thought I'd put them next to each other. So that's roughly what the page is going to be. That's the colours I'm looking for, are reds, pinks, greens, maybe a bit of yellow. And what I thought I would do is have some little monsters at the bottom of my page. So I've stamped these out. These are all Stampatique stamps. My favourite stamps are Stampatiques. Some of them are wood made. So what I've done is use these. These are Kira Nichols stamps, I think. Some of my favourites. I've stamped them in VersaFine, left it for a second to dry, and now I'm going to do some colouring in. So I've already started on this one. What I do is pick my colour. So I'm going to do a yellow. This is dark cadmium yellow. This doesn't look very scientific at all, and it's really not. So I do a lot of scribbling on. I put lots of colour on, so I'm really pressing on with this and doing it quite thickly. I'm not too bothered about going over these little circles because I'm going to go over those a little bit later. So you can see I'm going around the edges and really layering this on. I'm also going to cut these out, so I'm not at all bothered about going over the edges, despite what you were told as a kid. I use a watercolour brush. It's just one with a sort of reservoir in there of water. Clean it off. You can see that I work on a bit of scrap as well, and then use this to pick up the colour. So just not too wet a nib, getting it in there, picking the colour up and just spreading it about. Now what I'm trying to do with these is give it a little bit of dimension. Again, I'm not too bothered if I've gone over the edges, so I'm putting it up from the outside and into the middle, but I kind of think they should have paler tummies. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, now you can see what I've done with these two, so yellow and red. What I want to do with this red one now, it's dried slightly, is I want to enhance the colour on that one. So what I do, I squeeze out, hopefully you can see this here, I'm just squeezing quite hard and I've got a blob of water. And I'm going to use my nib of my pencil and just get into there, because this is watercolour pencil, remember. So that nib now of the pencil is really quite wet, and I'm going to use that to use it as a paintbrush, really, I suppose, to just slip onto that image and get it a really dark edge. I'm going to do the same with his face. I do so love these. I think they're rabbits, I'm not too sure. Just love the fact that they've got googly eyes. And around there, and then I'm going to use the paintbrush again just to pull that in a little bit. Don't want it in all the way because I want to still give some idea that there's variation in the tone. Okay, I like things really bright. I do go for pastels occasionally, but most of the time I like bright colours. Okay, there we go. So you can sort of see how I pull that together. I'm going to do another one. I think I'm going to do green. Let's have a look here. I'm going to go for this little guy who's got the heart on him. Oh, he looks so happy, look. I'm going to put some green around the edges there. And you can see I'm not being at all careful about that. And pulling it in from the edge. Just forget his feet. If I'm going to do two colours, I do tend to leave it to dry a little bit, just because I don't want to pick up the red, because the red with the green would go quite muddy. I'm just going to melt the end of my pencil in the water. I know it's not melting, but that's how it feels like. When you actually colour with one that's been in the water, it feels a bit slicker. That's the only way I can explain it. And just putting that in so that it's there. That's what I do. What I'll do with these now is I'll leave them to dry. I'll cut them out. I'll probably go around some of the black where I've got a layer of watercolour over the top. I'll probably go over that with a black pen, and I will certainly highlight the eyes with some white. But I'll show you what I do later. I'll put a picture up at the end of this video. Right, next one's going to be blue. So there's my next one done. So I've got my little set of rabbit cats. No idea what. Just to show you the other way that I pick up colour, actually, which is I do sometimes scribble really hard onto my scrap paper, and then pick up the colour with my pen, with my paintbrush, just for the times when you want to just add a little bit more colour but don't want to use your pencil. Pencil needs sharpening or whatever it might be. So you can see, just picking up there and adding it with my paintbrush. Hi, just dashing back on at the end of this video to tell you the name of the other pencils that I love. They are Derwent Ink Tense. They're all this sort of dark blue with a colour at the end, and they are the most wonderful pencils. But I'd keep those in a tin, and in the tin they came in, and I must admit I need to decant them into something a little bit more accessible, because I never go to them. But they are the most wonderful pens. I'm going to use this one on my next monster. Thanks for watching. Bye.